Wilson, it looks like we've got a pretty good group. You want to go ahead and kick us off?
I sure will. Thanks, Chief. Wow.
Thank you.
I could spend the whole night just gazing around the boxes here at all the people, and so many people I haven't seen in a long time. This is terrific. Thanks, everybody, for joining us tonight, and welcome to the second annual town hall, kind of focused on alumni. And it's delightful to see so many parents and campers and recent alumni out there. Welcome. By way of some quick introductions of who you're going to be hearing from tonight, obviously Chief Calhoun, everybody knows him, our camp director with Agawam for a long time, and a tremendous partner and leader with the Agawam Council, which is effectively the governing board for all the activities like Camp Agawam and the Main Idea and other programs we might run. Mander Malm, who everybody probably knows as well, is our Chief Technical Officer for this event. She's going to be 2 for 2 in managing to keep us all in our boxes where we belong and speaking in turn. So thanks, Mander, for doing that. And she, of course, is a key member of the leadership staff as well that runs camp and works so closely with the Agawam Council as well. And Bill Arswald, affectionately known as Bosun in his Agawam days when he wore the maroon and gray, Agawam Council treasurer. He's a CFO for a major private school nearby. He's a coach, a referee, a skier, an avid boater, father of a camper, and a longtime trustee after a similarly long connection as an Agawam camper and counselor himself, and part of the leadership team for Agawam for years as well. So those are the folks who'll be speaking tonight. Some quick nuts and bolts on tonight's activity. We are recording this session so we can publish a transcript of it later, just to give you full disclosure on that. You will see a poll pop up here shortly, which will help us know more about how people are hearing about these events and lets us improve our communication. So if you can participate in that, that would be terrific. We have some questions that have been submitted in advance for tonight's show or performance or meeting, whatever we're going to call it. We'll attempt to answer those as we work our way through the evening. And Mander will also field some live questions via chat, and we hope to work some of those in as well. So with ground rules and nuts and bolts out of the way, here's our basic agenda. I'll do an intro that may not seem quick to you, but it'll seem quick to me. And then I'll pass it to Chief for a few words, and he'll go over to Bill Arswald for some financial perspective, and then back to Chief to talk more in depth about what's to come for the summer with Main Idea and the full camp session, hopefully running without hitches. I guess I'll kick out with so many things about this year have kind of been hard to believe, and it's hard to know where to start with what's been unbelievable about the last 12 months. But one fact that's a little hard to believe is it was about a year ago that we began to get pits in our stomachs about the Main Idea and Camp Agawam being in jeopardy and not being able to run for 2020. And sadly, with all the scenarios tested and all the considerations given, we decided that the best and healthiest course was to suspend normal operations for the summer. And sadly, we had to. But what transpired thereafter in the Agawam community is nothing short of remarkable. Virtual programming began to spring up while campers, parents, and alumni ramped up their connections on social media to stay connected and keep their friendship strong and hopeful for meeting up again in 2021 at camp. Recognizing the negative impacts to camp financially by losing the summer, people began to come forward in a flurry with donations that built an incredible bridge over that rough economic river that we were crossing this past year. Without that support, Agawam would have survived because we had conservative financial management over the years, and we had the ability to utilize some of our preservation funds. We cut our physical plant upkeep costs and other costs as much as possible. But the damage from that economic loss would have taken about 10 years pro forma to recover from. Instead, Chief and Bill will share with you tonight news that Agawam is much stronger going into 2021 than we would have predicted just 6 months ago. Funds flowed from donations in the form of donated tuitions, money for seasonal summer staff who lost their jobs because camp couldn't open, PPP loans from the government, 100% participation from the board of directors in donations, and gifts from other generous folks who wanted to ensure Agawam weathered as best we could. And I think you'll find the news very upbeat about how we weathered it. Simple thanks would never be enough to express the appreciation we have for everyone who pitched in to support Agawam this past year. Everyone connected to the inner workings of camp is very, very, very grateful, deeply grateful. So thank you to everybody, whether you participated by coming to a Vespers and keeping the enthusiasm going, or you participated financially, or you in some other way stayed socially engaged. All that knit together is what keeps the Agawam fabric strong and has us running fast and hard into the coming camp season. So here we are, 2021. And I want you to know the Agawam Council Board of Directors is 100% behind Chief and his team in starting vibrant and full programming again. We're completely behind it and excited to hear about Chief's continuing emerging plans. He and his staff are working every day to adjust to, thankfully, an improving reality, the ever-changing regulations, and they do change every day, standards and regulations and input from people who just want to help, and then also from people in the regulatory space that Chief's got to pay attention to. We're always keeping in mind the mission to run a top-notch youth development program, so that certainly isn't going to be sacrificed. And to kind of wrap up, as a board of directors, we've had to live in the virtual world too. As you can imagine, many of us joined the board of directors to stay connected to Agawam, but also stay connected to some of our best friends and lifelong pals we've met at camp. So that's been a bit painful for us as we relish the chance to get together at least a couple times a year as a group in Boston and up at Agawam. And like many of you, we're missing out on that direct contact with those lifelong friendships that we built through Agawam. Despite that, we've been very busy. This past year, we modernized our board structure and updated our bylaws. This will help us better support the organization that now, as many of you know, is more than 35 years old as an independent nonprofit. And so we're in a really much, I think, structurally a much better position to keep doing the things that we want to do to advance Agawam in a more modern time. One of the more sensitive things we worked on for the last year or so is working with Chief to address some concerns that have been expressed over more than 5 years about the Agawam Council fire. And Chief recently announced some of these changes, which you all probably have read about. And the intent here is to be sure, to absolutely ensure that boys are getting the wonderful and intentional benefits of the weekly council fire ceremony, but also setting aside some of the Native American cultural offenses that have become, that were part of that council fire. Agawam has always revered the people who inhabited Maine long before settlers from afar came, and the adjustments to the council fire will better reflect that reverence and yet also preserve many of the beautiful traditions that we all associate with council fire. So I'll step aside now and pass it to Chief and to Bill for more exciting news about the summer to come. Chief?
Thank you very much, Admiral. I really appreciate it. And once again, to reiterate, this is the second sort of all community Zoom town hall information sessions that we had. The last one we had, I was sitting in Mason Hall with beautiful Camp Agawam behind me. And right now I'm in Portland, Maine in our home office. It's a little bit different vibe from my perspective, but just to all the parents that are out there of current families, once again, we will continue our series of town halls and information sessions as it relates to the summer and keep that going. So this is the purpose of this session is really a larger scale look at the entire Agawam organization and where we stand and how things are. And within that context, I will absolutely touch on some of the things that we're doing to open up for the summer. But as I sit here in front of my computer and sort of the most unseemingly Agawam places you could ever imagine with a screen in front of me, I have to say there's certainly a feeling of connection as I look at the faces that are sort of out there in the Brady Bunch kind of screen. And I can only see one of many pages. It's I was saying the number of people that we have signed up for this call are practically a full camp. And so that's pretty exciting. Oddly, in this year of physical isolation, it's also been a year of immense connection from an Agawam perspective. I've been blown away by how many people have reached out over the past year to offer support, guidance, or even just to ask how to help. Because of the strength of this community, we are emerging from a challenging year, a year in which we did not open for the summer, poised for an amazing 2021 and beyond. Thank you in particular to everybody who reached out with encouraging calls, letters, posts, emails, to all who participated in virtual events and activities, to parents who donated portions or all of their 2020 tuition or who rolled over their tuition to 2021, to all the donors who supported the 2020 staff loyalty stipend, the Agawam annual appeal, and the My Agawam campaign and the 2020 Bridge Fund. It doesn't seem that long ago when we were getting ready to make the announcement that Agawam was not going to open. And in hindsight, it's sort of a funny, ridiculous scene of Cap and his iPhone following me around to various places in camp, trying to get the light right, and me trying to deliver my message without crying before I was done, or flubbing my lines, or dropping something, or Cap messing with the phone. And it probably took us 45 takes to get it right. And at that time, one of my messages was, and it actually wasn't in the original script, it just kind of came out, that this is a sad moment, but it's not a sad story. And at that moment, I'm not sure to what extent I actually believe that. I really was, I was bummed. I was putting on a good face, but I was bummed. And not opening was something that it was a blow to me. And up until the very end, I was extraordinarily hopeful that we would open. Yet here we are looking at 2021 in a position that's so much better than what I could have imagined. And a lot of that has to do with the strength of our community. There's lots of other factors too, but that's really true. And considering all that's happened in the world, and considering we didn't open, we are in a strong position. We're in a strong position in terms of our programs. We're in a strong economic position. That economic position is strong yet impacted, right? I think that's the way to look at it. We were absolutely impacted by the fact that we did not open. And to understand this position, we're going to have Bosun Bill Arswald, our treasurer, and I will say also he earned his Mariner, which is also significant to some of you on this call, to give some perspective. And before I do that, though, we thank some people, but I also want to mention that Camp Agawam is an organization that's very much reliant on our dedicated, hardworking volunteer board, the Agawam Council. None of its members signed up for what 2020 doled out, yet they stepped up and were champions during a very hard time. And for that, I'm forever grateful to the Agawam Council directors, committee members, and everybody who chipped in. And so one of the people that chipped in is Bosun Bill Arswald, and I would like to pass it over to him. Bosun.
Thanks, Chief. I promise I'm going to take less than 5 minutes to bore you all with a little bit of numerical data about Camp's financial strength. From its inception, the Agawam Council has always tried to be good financial stewards of the camp's many assets. And those assets aren't just dollars and cents, but are also a phenomenal physical plant and amazing human resources, and of course, all of the committed alumni and campers and folks who've been through the Agawam programs. So we take very seriously our need to do that. And coming into this unforeseen moment, or this curveball, we were very much well positioned to weather some rainy days. We never quite contemplated that we'd miss an entire summer's worth of revenue. And in fact, the loss to the organization did total around $800,000. But happily, we were able to digest what that meant and how we would see through it, and how we would be able to sustain our plant and our programming and our staff through that moment. And we did a lot of good work around figuring out that was all possible. And then, frankly, the skies started to brighten. They brightened for several reasons. One is the initiative and the wherewithal of our donor community and our alumni community, who and our parent community, all of whom said, we understand this is an odd moment, and we're going to do a little bit extra and a little bit more than we thought we would before. Many of those folks had already made big commitments to a capital campaign just a couple years earlier, when times were perfect and the sun was bright and shining. And to dig deeper in moments of difficulty was phenomenal. So our $800,000 loss has been largely made up. It's been made up by about $250,000 from Bridge Fund donations and donations from our families that Chief mentioned. And then happily, it's been made up through a couple of government programs that Agawam has taken advantage of, and that we believed as a board were absolutely designed to help organizations like ours absorb an unexpected blow from the pandemic. You know, we are going to total out, we believe, after getting our second Paycheck Protection Program loan. We're going to total out at about $500,000 of government assistance against our $800,000 loss. That's $100,000 from the CARES Fund and the remainder from two forgivable PPP loans used to sustain our staff and used to sustain some of our commitments that didn't have revenue to take care of them. So what that really means is that we've had to devote about $100,000 of our reserves to meet the hole that the missed summer created, and really not much else. And fingers crossed, and God willing, the summer ahead will be robust and will provide a full slate of campers with amazing experiences, but also will you know, refill our budget in terms of the revenue that we count on each year to make all those numbers work. As Admiral said, when we first were really in the dark days, we were thinking it might take as much as 5 to 10 years to replenish some of the things we might tap to take care of this moment. And it turns out that we think that within 1 to 2 to 3 years even, we'll be right back in good shape, having replenished the working capital reserve that's taken care of the last bit of this. So as I said, I know people are not here really to hear about numbers, but I wanted to reassure everybody that Agawam is strong. The Agawam Council will open programming this year with its full ability to be awesome and be amazing. And you know, no corners will be cut. This budget that we have set out for this year is not about hitting a certain number because we have to. It's frankly about making sure that it's the very best summer for everybody on Crescent Lake, whether that's our staff, our campers, our main idea families and campers. All of those folks are just going to, you know, have everything they need to make it an amazing summer. So with that, I'll throw it back to Chief to talk about some of those details. And again, many thanks to everybody for their support in these challenges.
Thanks, Bosun. Thank you very much. And one thing I will say is that as a camp director, I'm really good at lighting fires and tying knots and addressing crowds in person. I am not a tech person, and I'm also not a multitasker. So if you see me lose my train for a minute, it's because Mander is texting me and telling me things that I've missed or that I need to fix. And one of the things that I want to make sure that we get to is the poll. We've actually worked really hard as a board. I can see Chrissy Barnard on my screen. She's one of the people spearheading this, but we've worked really hard as a board on our communication plan and how we communicate with people and actually making sure that we're reaching folks. And so we've got a poll associated with this that we ask how you actually heard about this, and it will help us with that communication plan. So Mander, do I need to do anything other than that? Or you said give you a minute?
No, I'll post it and folks can just click on how they heard about this, and that would be great. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you, Mander. So, oh, there it is. I got it too. Okay. So thank you guys for filling out that poll. Hopefully it just takes a second and it will be helpful for us in our process. Okay. So 2021, how are we going to run camp? What's going to happen? And I think I'm going to start with the most important message of all, and that is Camp Agawam is essentially 2 programs, and those programs are core to who we are and what we do. One of those programs is the main idea, and one of those programs is the 7-week program. And we are confident that both of these programs are going to run in 2021. And I will also say that this week has been the American Camp Association online conference. And I've also been in all kinds of meetings and information sessions with other camp professionals around Maine, around New England, and around the country. And I think this is the sort of the prevailing feeling in New England and specifically in Maine. Almost all of those great old camps that we know and love are looking to open this summer, and we all feel really good about it. So I think that's, if there's no other takeaway, that's as important of a message as ever. But I also think that what's critical that folks understand is that 2021 is going to be a bridge summer. In other words, my expectation is 2022 is going to look and feel like many summers past. 2021 is going to have some modifications. It's going to have some adaptations, and it's going to have some aspects to it that are really a pivot to accommodate COVID and what's going on with that in the world. And at this point, that's a moving target. We all understand that. But I would like to sort of run through kind of what camp may look like this summer with the understanding that a lot of this is going to change, and our parents of current campers have been incredibly patient and understand that the meat on this is going to get out in the spring. But this is a moving target, and we are working hard. And so I want to say a couple things. Philosophically, we are looking to open camp as if we are under our current conditions. In other words, if the vaccines and testings and cases out there are just like they are now, how will we open camp? And that's how we're planning. I am hopeful that when it comes time to actually open camp, we are going to have a much less restrictive environment in which we can open it. But I will say that philosophically, it's a much better position to have overplanned and then scale back than it is to try at the last minute to ramp up your plan. Anybody who has ever been a camp counselor at Camp Agawam, whether it was with Dave Mason or Garth Nelson or me, will know that cabin counseling 101 is that you start with your cabin with your rules in place and then ease up, as opposed to the opposite. And this is kind of a more serious version of that. And so, and to give you some examples, is the main CDC guidelines for opening up camps. These are the guidelines that were given by the state that will tell us what we need to do to open camp. Were last updated in June of 2020. So they are pushing a year old. I will be fair to the state of Maine. They've got a lot on their plate. Maine Summer Camps, MICA, which is an organization to which we belong, has been lobbying and working hard and doing all the things that they need to do to make sure that that's in place. And so we are planning with the hope that some of what we're planning won't actually come to be. But I think when I look at the opening of Camp Agawam, whether it's the main idea or the 7-week session, there's a really important aspect to this. And I think it really is something that gives Agawam a leg up and puts us in a great position. I am on the board of directors of a small independent school, a small private school in Portland, Maine, called Breakwater School. And my son attended there through the 6th grade, and he's not there any longer. But that school they have run 5 days a week in person during this entire pandemic. Now, there's all sorts of factors to that. They're small, whatever. But I had a really good conversation with David Sullivan, whose son, by the way, was an Agawam camper, who's the head of school there. And we were talking about why Breakwater has been able to run this program and really had very few issues. And he said, number one is they've been incredibly lucky. And you can't overlook that. A lot of things have to fall your way. But number two is their community, both the faculty, the students, and the parents, have bought in to the messaging and have complied with the expectations because they all know how important that school experience is. And so when it's time for us to open up Camp Agawam, we are going to be absolutely reliant on the strength of our parents, of our staff, and our campers to also do that same thing and follow the guidelines that we're putting forth, some of which would be before they even arrive at camp. And I think I'm confident that our community values this experience enough to know that they're going to comply, and that's what's going to happen. So what are the camp protocols? So before people arrive at camp, I think there's some things that we know are going to happen. There's going to be some sort of behavior modification expected. In some ways, it would be a quarantine, but believe it or not, some of our folks, particularly coming from places like New York, don't have enough, or our main idea campers, don't have enough time between the end of school and the beginning of camp, presuming they're doing anything in person, to actually quarantine. So what will likely be the case is some sort of expectation of modified behavior. In other words, not to go to things like concerts or parties or funerals or sports tournaments or things that would be a high concentration of people indoors that would put you at risk. And so we will have guidelines for that, but there'll likely be some sort of ask that would be 7 to 10 days before camp, something along those lines. Additionally, we are going to request a PCR test 3 to 5 days before arrival at camp. We will likely send folks some options for what that is, but you'll kind of be on your own for finding those. And we need that test before you arrive. When families arrive, there will likely be some sort of a rapid antigen test on opening day, just a quick test when people arrive. And then after folks are in camp, about 5 days into camp, there'll be a PCR test, another one that will follow up with that. So that's the key sort of leading into camp. And I'll back up to that in a minute because I'd like to talk a little bit about what the organization of camp is going to look like. And this is really important. When the way that most Americans are organized right now is they have their family group, right? So they're in their house, and the people in their house, they don't wear masks for those folks, and that's your family. And then you've got the greater group out there. And so the equivalent of our family group are going to be our cabin groups. And so those cabin groups will actually likely be clusters of 2 cabins, and that will be considered a family group, and they will not be masked when they're with one another, or they won't need to be masked when they're with one another. Then there'll be a larger cohort group, and there will likely be 3 cohort groups in camp. Some of this will be dictated by the Maine state guidelines. For example, we very recently had a change in how many people can congregate indoors at one time, which is in our favor. But these cohort groups very well may be wearing masks around one another, inside or outside. They might not. After that 5 days and the test, we'll see how we can open up. A lot of that is going to depend on what the best practices are that are dictated to us. And this is really important. And the reason, even if there's low instances of cases out there, the reason you organize this way is for contact tracing. So that if we do have a positive case or somebody that's showing symptoms, we will be able to isolate a small group of campers as opposed to a really large group of campers. And it gives us the opportunity to keep camp open and to isolate a small group and then move forward. I will say that the way we're planning on running Main Idea is a little bit different than the 7-week session because it's only a week. And so we likely won't have that opportunity to really open things up. Where the benefit of Main Idea is everybody's coming from Maine, at least all the campers, and that we have a camper population from a state with really low instances of COVID. So that's sort of the general terms. I will say that when we're looking at camps in general, but Agawam specifically, there's bottlenecks. When you look at our program, there's spots where large people gather and you need to figure out what to do with those things. Are there cabins? There are waysides. I love the fact that this is such an Agawam group and I don't have to say bathrooms, I can say waysides. It's large group gatherings, things like Vespers, rainy day activities, award ceremony, things like that, and dining. And we're really fortunate in a lot of these things. So for the cabins, I think I've explained how that works. We need, under normal circumstances, that heads in cabins need to be 6 feet apart. That's why boys are head to toe, and even a bunk bed is head to toe. And so we'll be able to maintain that same distance, even with COVID, by maintaining the cabin group in the cabin. The waysides, we're lucky because we're able, with the middle wayside and the upper wayside, we can divide both of those waysides in half and create 2 spaces. Additionally, we are going to create outdoor troughs that will be outdoor hand washing stations and toothbrushing stations. And so we're going to be able to create a lot more space in terms of those waysides. And that's how we plan to deal with that. And frankly, those outdoor hand washing stations are something that Camp Tamanis has been using for a long time. Cap actually went over there and looked at their setup. And it's probably something we're going to be happy with in future time to come, thinking about just the log jam in general. Anyone who's ever been an LOD or an MOD knows the mayhem when it's time for everyone to brush their teeth and go to bed in those spaces. So if we're able to spread that out, that's going to be good for us. Large group gatherings, we're just going to do it outside. That's all there is to it. We're going to do Vespers outside, and we're going to do award ceremony outside. Now, one important thing, and it's later in my notes, but I'll say it now, is that we are anticipating a summer that will not have parent visitors. So we're expecting that parents will not visit during the summer. I'm not saying this set in stone because it could change, but we've told our parents that this is the expectation. What that does is it gives us some flexibility to where if it's a rainy day, we're going to do Vespers and awards on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, and we don't have to worry about the parents that were going to be there because they won't be there. And so we've got a lot of flexibility with that. And then for rainy day activities, we can have our 3 cohorts in 3 different places. We're really lucky to have Governor Hall, Mason Hall, and Lower Mason Hall. So we feel pretty good about that. And finally, dining was our biggest issue and our biggest concern. Mason Hall is beautiful, but it is full. And at one point, it looked like we were going to have to dine in 3 different locations. That still might be the case, but I'm hopeful it'll be 2 different locations. And what we have done is that we have created the Old Bubbler Porch Project, and you can thank Peter Mason for the name of that in his role as a board advisor, I guess at this point. But as you're walking up the steps into Mason Hall, to your left, there was a small deck there. And that deck is where, if some of you remember, for cookouts, it's where we'd set up the tables to serve. It's where the waiters would eat. And we have expanded that out kind of towards the infirmary and put a roof over it. And I will tell you, it looks beautiful and it blends right in. I was concerned it would look like we put a goofy addition on that building, and it just looks terrific. I was just there the other day doing my little promo video for this and was blown away. And that's going to give us really great space for additional dining. And we've talked to Bruce, and these are some of the modifications we're going to make. People are going to dine by their cabin groups, so that's going to be your table. It will likely be more of a we probably won't have camper waiters, for example. It will be more of a buffet kind of style, or bringing things out. Luckily, we've got these great trays that we can use, so it's going to be a little bit different dining kind of style. But that's one of those bridge things that we'll do for 1 year. Once again, philosophically, we feel like for a major modification like that Old Bubbler porch, it should not be a reaction simply to COVID. What that should be would be something that we're going to really want in future years. And we absolutely are. Any current parents that have been to one of our parent coffees, it's going to be great for that. For rainy days, it's going to be good gathering space. It's going to be good meeting space. We're going to be really, really happy that we have that. So I feel good about that. So those bottlenecks we feel good about our plan for those. Another important consideration is how are we going to handle healthcare? And we've got a big, beautiful infirmary. We've also got our old infirmary building. We, under typical circumstances, have 2 full-time nurses at Agawam. And then in addition, when one of those nurses has a day off, we have a day off nurse that's filling in. Because we're going to be somewhat restricted about who can come and go, we have actually hired 4 nurses. And as you might imagine, this is a budget issue, right? This is the kind of decision that we've made that will impact us budget-wise, but it's really important that we do this. In the worst case scenario where there's some sort of an outbreak, we're going to need 4 nurses. I am hoping with all of my heart that they're going to be playing cards and really bored sitting in the infirmary. But the other thing that we're going to do is we have a tent that's going to be next to the infirmary. That's going to be sort of a triage space that we can utilize. So once again, there's an example of something that likely won't be something we'll use down the line. So we're not building any kind of a permanent structure like we are in Mason Hall. We're putting a tent there. And so another important thing is staffing. People on this call, particularly if you had a child that went to camp, or you're a current camper, or you are a former staff member or camper, I don't know who else that would be. So I guess everyone on the Zoom. If you fall into one of those categories, you understand how essential the Agawam staff is for running a summer at Agawam, and they absolutely are. And under a normal circumstances, and I see Sue McMullen's on this call, and she's maybe can really relate to this, but we are scrambling for something. We're scrambling for a trip director. We're scrambling for a program director. We want a waterfront director. And at this point, all of those key positions are filled. We feel so good about that. Cruiser, Patrick Wright, and Mander have been doing that hiring, and it feels really good. But we've been really upfront with our staff about the fact that there's the true possibility that they may not be leaving campus this summer. They may be taking their days off and their nights off in camp. We're working to accommodate that. We've got our beautiful Bob's Shop is the beautiful new barn that's got all kinds of great staff space in there. It's possible that with vaccinations, and if we're able to vaccinate our staff, and the science tells us that they won't be carriers of COVID, if they've been vaccinated, we can loosen that up. But once again, all of these dedicated staff have committed to come to Camp Agawam with the understanding that there's a possibility that they may be in camp during the summer. I'm blown away by this, and I feel really excited about the strength of the staff that we have coming. It's a really, really good group. A couple of other things as it relates to this. We plan for all of our activities to run. The way that we're going to organize optionals is going to be a little bit different. The way that we have to do sort of free evenings and some of those things. But as far as whether it's basketball or sailing or of course our flagship activity, Ranger Trail, or any one of those, no matter what it is, everything we plan to have it run. The things that won't happen in all likelihood, and once again, we're planning on this not happening. Never say never, but we're planning on no intercamp. So no dances. I was talking to Katrina, who is one of the directors of Camp Agawam, with whom we have dances. And I said we could just have the first half of dances where everyone's totally on the other side of the facility and aren't mingling, but we can't have the second half of dances. But all kidding aside, things like dances, things like sporting events with other camps, we're just not going to do. Once again, unless something significant changes and it looks like that's a viable option. And so we're going into the summer with that understanding. But we're still going to do Agawam. We're still planning on trips. We have looked carefully at our trips. And when I say trips, I mean wilderness, overnight camping trips. And the trips that feel like they put our staff and campers in a position in a campsite with sort of a high concentration of other folks, we're not going to do. So some of you may remember the Cold River campsite with Speckled Mountain or Royce Mountain, and we're not doing that this summer. We're also not going to do Mount Washington, at least as an overnight trip and staying in the huts. But we're still planning on, we have alternatives, and we're working hard on getting that trip program going. So that feels really good. And so that's sort of the rough breakdown of how we're organizing the summer and what it's going to look like. There's a lot more details. There's a lot more details to come. And we'll be working, especially for all of you that are current families that are on this call. There'll be more to come and more calls. And once again, I encourage anybody to email or call if you want more information or just to check in, especially if it relates specifically to you or to your child. I know, like, for example, international travel and things like that are going to be tricky. One more thing to throw out there, and I think this is really important, and it's great to have board support on this sort of a thing. Agawam's full. Everyone has signed up. We have boys that would be returning who we have accounted for. So we're giving the option of coming back. But in terms of new campers, we're full. But we are also telling our families that there is a full refund policy, no questions asked, up until the final minute. And that could be that you're coming from another country and there's a restriction. It could be that you're coming from California and something crazy happens and you can't make it. It could be that we have laid out what our program is and it just doesn't feel right for you. It could be whatever, but I think because we don't know exactly what our program is going to look like, it's just the right thing to do. And once again, it's not the, if we were, running Agawam like we were a hardcore business, that would not be how we would move forward. And it's great to know that we've got that flexibility and board support on that. And so the final thing I want to spend a little time touching on, and then we can maybe answer some questions that might be out there. And I do feel the need to speak about the council fire. And it wasn't initially going to be something that I was going to touch on in this call, but there were some questions about it. And so I think it's important that I do that. And 2 years ago, I presented to the Agawam Council the concept of removing Native American aspects from our council fire. It was 2 years ago. After that board meeting, we established a subcommittee that was made up of a really nice variety of generational board members. And that subcommittee looked deeply into this. And we looked at the history. We looked at a lot of aspects. And later, I put forth to the board about removing those Native American aspects and to modify our ceremony, and it was voted upon unanimously. I just need to say a couple things about this. First, this is something that I've been living with every day for the past several years. And for me personally, it's important to allow others to live with this and process this, because for many of you, the email that went out the other day was the first you've heard of it. And so in spite of the fact that I've been in the middle of this for a long time, sort of philosophically, and the person running those council fires and sort of seeing this firsthand, a lot of folks, this is something that they feel really strongly about, a lot of nostalgia about, and it's important to them. And I just want to say this, you know, my father was a camper and counselor at Camp Agawam in the 50s and 60s. I was a camper and counselor at Camp Agawam in the 80s, 90s, and 2000. My son is currently a camper at Camp Agawam. I live Camp Agawam every day. Our mission, our traditions, the people are very, very dear to me. When I was lucky enough to get the best job in the world as a director of Camp Agawam, I saw one of the critical aspects of what I was to do was to be the guardian of who Agawam is and our traditions. And I still see that, and I think that's critical. I understand change can be difficult and it can be slow in coming, but I can assure you that this was the correct decision. I have stood at the center of the council ring 7 Saturdays a week since 2009. I feel that I, as much as anybody, understand how powerful that ceremony is. I will also tell you that most of that power is derived from buy-in from our community. The key to the summer 2021 is to retain that buy-in, and it's all aspects of camp, but particularly in that council fire. We will no longer dress like Indians, but council will still be reverent. There will still be 4 bands with elected camp leaders marching into the ring to the sound of a drum. Marching honors will be awarded with somewhat dubious criterion. The fire will light. There will be challenges, nature reports, trip reports, ranger trail awards, charades, and the ceremony will end with the awarding of Katayaki. Some campers will leave happily with candles in hand, and others will not. It will look a little bit different, and it will take some time to perfect, but it's going to be effectively the same event with the same reverence. And by the way, I'm not choking up. I got a little cough. I am a crier and I do choke up, but I assure you I'm not doing that right now. You know, I think to me, as a director of Camp Agawam, and I had this conversation with Chief Nelson and I had this conversation with Dave Mason, one of the most powerful moments, and it's when you feel as a director the most connected to camp, is when it's dark in the council fire and it's maybe during, you know, charades when boys are raising their hand to guess and you cannot see anybody. So you're making your guess get who's who maybe you've identified as where, yet you get this timeless feeling. And that timeless feeling in that council ring with that fire, with those boys sitting in that ring. And it feels like, man, this could be any time. This is timeless. And to me, standing in that ring in 2021, I promise you it's going to feel the same. There'll be adaptations, and we need to get those 15 and 16-year-old campers to buy in. We need that staff to buy in. But from my perspective, the power of those people sitting in those benches, looking at the fire, looking at me, waiting to hear their name read, desperately holding their hand up, trying to guess what the charade is, that part of camp is going to feel the same. And I realize that not everyone is going to agree with this decision. By the way, I have had an overwhelming amount of support from the Agawam community about this decision. And I've also had some feedback, some folks with reservations. And so it's just important that I acknowledge that, and I appreciate it. And I am happy to talk to anybody about this decision and about what we've done. But I feel like change is hard. About 5 years ago, we changed the benches in the council ring, and there was a staff petition with 20, 25 signatures on it that how dare we change the benches in the council ring. I don't mean to make light of this. This is a bigger deal than that, but this is the right step moving forward. It's a right step for Camp Agawam, and change is hard for us, and council is meaningful, but it will remain meaningful and will in many, many aspects remain unchanged. So that is my presentation. We've got about 10 minutes left or so. Mander, I don't know if there's any questions that are out there, or anything that I can answer, or that Bosun Arswold or Admiral Wilson can answer.
Thanks, Chief. And I'll just reiterate to folks, if you'd like to put a question in the chat, it'll come to me and I can try to work that in. But there are also some questions that came ahead of this, so I'll share some of those. Chief, one of the questions is about volunteers and the Main Idea program, and so many folks who love to come back year after year to volunteer, and wondering the status of that this year.
Yeah, and Mander, I should have touched on that because it's in my notes. It is likely that we will not have volunteers this year. Once again, I would say that is a wait and see, and things could change. If there is a scenario where the science tells us that someone who is fully vaccinated is unlikely to be a carrier of COVID and can't pass it from person to person, I think then that is a game changer in terms of our ability to bring in volunteers. But as of right now, as much as we love our volunteers at Main Idea, the risk reward just isn't worth it. So as of now, we're planning on no volunteers, but that's to be determined.
And just to reiterate as well, the question was asked about parents. I know you spoke about it a little bit, but can you talk a little bit about parent visitation as well?
Yeah, so I mentioned it before. We are in all likelihood not going to have parent visitation, and so it just is too challenging. And I know that I've talked to some other camp directors and we've knocked around the idea of having like distanced parent visitation, but it just doesn't seem like that works. That seems like it's really challenging. And so what we are working on is a better communication plan. And so over the course of the summer, for example, I will likely be doing a weekly Zoom with parents. We are likely going to have some sort of a video introduction of our staff to the parents, and more opportunities. We're actually still working hard on what to do about phone calls, simply because if you think about the phone and sanitizing it and using it and when people can call, but if we are able to do phone calls, there will likely be some sort of a sign up that we will do.
Thanks, Chief. Question about vaccinations and I guess whether staff will be required to be vaccinated and the status of vaccinations for campers.
Right. And so right now, vaccines are very much state to state, and our staff come from a bunch of different states. So it makes it somewhat challenging to regulate that. I believe, and this could change, but I believe that we are not allowed to tell our staff that they have to be vaccinated. I think that's the case. With that said, in Maine, essential teachers are considered essential workers as far as vaccines go. So my wife is getting her vaccine in a couple of days. She works at a school. And so we will likely send out letters to all of our staff that indicate they'll be working with youth this summer, and hopefully that will give them the ability in their state to get the vaccine. I think it's a goal for us to get as many of our staff vaccinated as we possibly can. But I'm not sure if it's going to be a requirement. And by the way, the state of Maine, at least thus far, has been really clear that they're not going to vaccinate people from out of state. So if we have someone, come from Connecticut and want to get vaccinated here in Maine because they're working at a Maine summer camp, they won't be able to do that here.
Chief, another question about the removal of the Native American aspects to council, a little bit more on the background of how that decision was made.
Yeah, and first of all, anybody that's interested, please shoot me an email or a text or whatever. And I've got a document that I presented to the board that goes sort of a deep dig into the history of the Native American aspects of Camp Agawam. But I think for a lot of folks, particularly who are nostalgic about that, the view is we're actually honoring Native Americans with what we're doing in council. And I think that's always been our intent. And I will say this, we're not necessarily apologizing for what we've done in the past. We're not erasing what we've done in the past. We're not taking down photographs that are in the office. Well, actually we are, because we're building a new office, but we'll put them back up in the new office. And we're not erasing our history. We're just changing how we're moving forward. And ultimately, teaching Native American history in council is perfectly appropriate and something that we'll continue to do. I tell stories that are sort of rooted in history and rooted locally in history, and I think that's important. And certain Native American words are not inappropriate. If you drive anywhere in the United States, the map is riddled with Native American words. I think ultimately the issue is pretending like we're Native Americans and dressing like Native Americans. And that is the core issue that we're going to change. And so, and you know what? Nobody came to us and said we're offended. We didn't have any outcry. There wasn't any expose in the newspaper. But certainly this just was clearly the right thing to do. And the way that I tried to explain this in the document to the board is that the Native American aspects of council is the frame to council, but it's not the core of council. And if you look at it that way, we're sort of changing the way that we're framing the ceremony, but we're not touching the core of the ceremony. And once again, I'm assuming that I'm not sure who asked the question. I'm assuming I'm not necessarily changing minds with my explanation, and I'm not looking to have a debate here on that. But I'm happy to talk offline. I'm happy to share documentation and some of the information that we've put out there.
I would just add to that too, Chief, that as I said at the beginning, the board spent a lot of time deliberating with the chief and listening. And well, he said, I think a moment ago, that may have been a little bit confusing, is that nobody was offended. There were people who were offended. There were Native Americans who have family relationships or have Native American lineage who came to camp and were frankly offended that we were imitating, in effect, a culture that we respected but don't completely understand and really didn't have a right to take from in the way that we were. And that wasn't the entire driving force, but it certainly created a conversation that, as Chief mentioned, has been going on for a couple of years. And as I mentioned, the board is completely behind the decisions that Chief led us through here in this process too.
And Admiral, I really appreciate that, because you're absolutely right. We had a couple of folks that spoke out. I think the point I was trying to make and maybe didn't make very well is that our decision was not reactionary. It was measured and studied.
Yeah.
Thanks, Admiral.
Sure.
Maynard, what else?
Question about masks in a place like council and when different cohort groups are together.
Yeah, so the way that the rules are right now is cohort groups will not be together. They will be distanced. And so council, in terms of 2021, unless some really good stuff happens, is going to be really tricky how we're going to pull that off. Anyone that was at the council fire for the 100th reunion, we actually did it out on Forbes Field. And that may be something that we're going to do similar this year. We're not sure yet. But in all likelihood, at least once again, understand we are basing our plans on as if we're opening under current conditions. And if that were the case, boys are going to be masked when they're with groups other than their cabin group. My hope is that will not be how we run, but that's how we're planning for now. And I know I feel badly. A lot of my answers feel a little bit that way, but that's just kind of the reality of it.
What's the plan for introducing the new aspects of council to campers and staff for 2021?
Yeah, so staff and campers have already received information about that. And we are going to do a couple of things. You know, we're going to have during staff training, we're going to have an opportunity to sit down and really talk about this and do some planning. And then really the introduction to campers is going to happen when they arrive. At least that's our plan. And so every summer, at the beginning of the summer, I sit down along with the unit heads and some other folks with the senior boys, and we're going to talk to that group because they're going to be really critical in making this happen. And then we will likely sit down with the entire camp and really just talk about it.
There's a question about the, you mentioned a new office, that was part of the Agawam My Agawam campaign. What is the status of the new office?
Yeah, so we are, as soon as the last camper leaves Agawam in 2021, we are going to start taking things out of the old office and get ready to build the new office. And so we're really excited about it. It's going to be in the same spot. It's going to have a lot more usable space. It's going to have a little bit higher profile, but hopefully Bill Simons, who does all of our building, just has a great sense for what fits in terms of Agawam aesthetically. And we feel really good about what it's going to look like. And there's going to be all kinds of great new space for staff and lockers and things like that. So the plan is to move ahead with that. And we feel great about it. Just so everyone knows, the plan was originally to do it this year, but we chose to put it off a summer.
And Chief, I might just add a little bit to that too. Thanks for the context. But the thing to add might be that the Agawam, my Agawam campaign, this is kind of fulfilling the last big leg of that promise, in addition to the 4 or 5 other aspects of the campaign that were so tremendously successful thanks to incredible generosity. This is the last major piece of infrastructure that was related to that. We've got a bunch of campership and staff related activities in addition to the infrastructure. This began, what is it going to be, 4 years ago now when we put the infirmary in?
Yes.
I think it's just 4, maybe 5 times fly. But 4 years ago we put the infirmary in. That was the sort of the first leg, and then we've marched on through the rest of it. So this is a fulfillment of the rest of the promise of the campaign for those who were so generous to it. So thanks for that.
What's the latest about international campers and staff J1 visas?
So the companies that do the J1 visas, which is the visa that our international staff arrive on, are really hopeful that it's going to happen. And we have a few international staff that we're planning on bringing in. And so we're hopeful that that's a go. With that said, we're planning on fewer international staff than we would typically do, just as kind of a safeguard. As far as international campers, as of now, the international campers that are signed up are coming from potentially Canada and the Dominican Republic. And we're going to be a little bit at the mercy of what the situation is between those countries and those borders being open. I think with Canada, we're happy to get people from Canada. It's whether Canada wants them back after they've been here is the issue. But we think that that's going to be all right. Worst case scenario, there might be some need to quarantine here in the United States, but I actually don't think that'll be a case as long as they're conforming to what our expectations are and we've got the test. So we're really hopeful that our international campers will be able to come. I will throw out there that we love our international campers and there's some great folks, but there are camps out there that are, 50, 40, 30% international campers. And we're obviously not in that situation. So our main concern with international campers is we want the people that we love back. And so that's the key.
There are probably two final questions maybe to wrap up, but one is about something like Karana, will that be run? And the final one after that is people want to know the name of Lute Fryer's cat.
So why don't we start with you, Lute Fryer?
That would be Miss Camilla. She is on parade tonight. I don't know why, but she is.
She's always on parade.
Yeah. And so, yeah, Karana's happening. It absolutely is happening. And we might even, because we don't have inter-camp competitions, we might do a super Karana or have multiple Karanas or do something absolutely ridiculous with that. But yeah, Karana's going to happen. Count on it. And we'll do everything we can not to have stupid puns with Karana and the virus and whatever. So I'm sure there were questions left out there. I'm sure there are folks thinking about Council Fire. I'm sure there's folks that are thinking specifically about this summer as it relates to them and their children or themselves. And for those campers and parents, we'll have more of these information sessions just for you. But I encourage anybody to please reach out to shoot me an email or a text, and I will happily get back to you, except for Ranger John Clark, who I will not return his calls or his emails. But anyone else, I will be happy to get back to you. And so we're right about 8 o'clock. And so I'd like to turn it over to Admiral Peter Wilson, just so we can wrap up.
Thanks again, Chief. I don't have much more to add other than to say, thanks to everybody. And the first thing that came to mind, or many things came to mind, but one thing that came to mind as Chief was going through the incredible amount of detail and consideration into what it takes to open campus. And I look around, I see Scott Barnard and Tommy Barnard, and I see Jim Mason and some other faces that I shared Agawam time with And I think, man, wasn't it simple when all we had to do was change our socks once a week and take a soap dip and everybody stayed kind of healthy for the summer? Those days are long gone, obviously. But Chief, I guess the real comment here is a shout out to you and your leadership staff about the incredible amount of detail that's required to consider running a camp in this kind of environment. And it was a tough, bitter pill to swallow last year when we couldn't run camp. And you have used the time wisely, and your staff has used the time wisely to prep for the next phase of running camp. I wish you the best of luck. I'm sure everybody, all 100 and some odd people we had here tonight, wish the same for a successful camp. It will be different, but I'm sure it will be great. And I want to thank everybody around the Brady Bunch circle here, for the squares rather, for all that they've done to help bridge us over. It will be another bridge in a different way, but Agawam in so many ways is grateful to everybody whose pictures and non-pictures are here. We'll look forward to meeting again this way, and even more look forward to meeting in person up at Agawam at our next 5-year reunion, which is just a year closer than it was when we didn't meet 2 years ago. Or sorry, from 2 years, it's a year closer now, and we will look forward to meeting everybody up there. So thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful, safe evening, and we'll look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care.